All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Run the Clock Podcast. I'm here with Sean from SK Sports Podcast, and first thing we'll talk about is his opinions on Danny Dimes. What do you have to say about him?
Yeah, so we were talking about this back and forth throughout the weekend. Now, this is going to be his third year entering into the NFL. You guys start off with the negatives first because this guy is kind of so far a turnover machine.
Yeah,
You've seen his stats and they don't really lie. But the Giants started off last year 0-5, right?
mm-hmm.
So he had a lot of turnovers in that first half of those set of games.
He looked like a buffoon. He was just
he
fumbling the ball every 5 seconds.
he did, but I don't know if you noticed him in the later part of the year as the Giants were actually on a run, really hot team, because this team was actually they started off 1-7, and that team was just freaking awful. And then all of a sudden they get into second gear. Jones improves himself, and that ball security was getting a lot better than what it was in the first half of last year. But like career-wise, so far you have 22 interceptions that he has. Also like 17 fumbles for loss, so just about 40 turnovers like career-wise. That obviously has to change in his third year. This is his make or break season.
Completely, 100%.
Completely. There's no debate about this. I compare this a little bit to the Sam Darnold situation, because if the Jets gave Sam Darnold 3 years and say, here, be our quarterback, prove to us that you can be the franchise leader, which he hasn't really to me. That's about Sam Darnold. But I think Jones deserves that third year just because, he had, you've seen Sam Darnold, you've seen other quarterbacks. It takes other guys sometimes that third year to understand the
Yeah,
game
but
more,
before that, you see the spark in them. There's no spark in Jones. There's no spark. There's nothing different. There's no playmaking ability that blows your mind. It's at this point, it's like if I saw like how good he was at playmaking or how his ability to make the ball, like when it comes to Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's rookie year, he was a phenomenal playmaker. He was able to make plays that rookies aren't supposed to make. That's why in his second year, I gave him another chance because like he proved to me that first year that he had the IQ and was able to like had the football IQ to really know how to make plays. Jones doesn't show you that. And that's not something he's gonna learn next year because I don't think he's that smart in general. I know he went to Duke, but still.
And that's because this is exactly what happened to Eli. Because when Eli first got drafted, originally by the Chargers, and they traded him to the Giants, of course. The rest is history after that. But it took Eli some time to get going. And
but
now,
did he actually get going into a franchise quarterback?
Here's the thing, though. Never elite.
That's what I'm saying. If you're
talking about,
but you want an elite quarterback?
As a fan, you would love to have an elite quarterback.
Yeah, but you see the draft class this year. You don't want to try to.
But you don't. Here's the thing, though. I shouldn't say today's game, but in years past of like Super Bowl champion quarterbacks, and you go back in the day too, not everybody was elite.
What's his name won a Super Bowl for the Bears? Jim McMahon, whatever his Mick something, Chicken Nugget, whatever his fucking name is.
And you go back to guess who? Was it Brad Johnson for Tampa Bay against the Raiders? Who won the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
You go back.
But this is what I'm saying. This is how I'll put it this way. Do you believe Saquon can stay healthy?
I have to believe that.
Well, let's look at a realistic point. He can't. The Giants put his fucking knee in the grave. He's gonna get arthritis at 30. He's gonna early.
But that's the thing, though. The Giants need to make sure that coming back from an ACL injury, you cannot have him consistently as that RB1 and expect him to take the majority of the workload. You can't.
Well, the
Giants need to have not just a two-headed monster. I think they need to have a third guy too. So you bring in another running back, and then you bring back Wayne Gallman, and you work with three guys because you can't just go like with a yes. Everyone's saying two-headed monster. I think you need that third guy too because you just don't know what Barkley just yet.
All right, so let's say we keep Daniel Jones, right? He becomes into a system quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Now this is from Super Bowl as you go from history. This has the standpoint you have to go by. So you were talking about Brad Johnson, the Bucks, correct? Mm-hmm. They had Mike Ocelot, phenomenal running back.
Yep.
And had a phenomenal defense.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Bears, their defense was no joke. Do you think the Giants can really build that big of a defense to really make up for their lackluster offense?
100%. And that's where it comes into with Patrick Graham. That's what's so unique about this guy because his IQ, you want to talk about football IQs, man. I just love Patrick Graham and what he brings to the table. And you also got to look at, too, what the Giants added. Like Gettleman's like he put that as like his number one. Like that was his goal to add to the in the offseason, which is his defense. And he added it to the secondary and Xavier McKinney and who should have been a first round pick, ended up dropping him to the second round somehow. Not quite sure how. But then you have Leonard Williams, who they need to resign and who's a free agent. They also have a Dalvin Tomlinson, another nose tackle. And then again, the Giants, though, something that they need on that defense is the edge rusher.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that they don't really have. Like, yeah, they had that linebacker core. They acquired Blake Martinez. They got Kyler Fackrell. They got Tate Crowder in the draft. But, like,
I mean, when you talk about the Giants and you talk about Super Bowls, we obviously kept the talk about how they had Michael Strahan in one of them and the other one they had Justin Tuck.
It was defense.
It was really when we talk about edge rushers specifically, Jason Pierre-Paul and Justin Tuck were a phenomenal pair.
Yep.
And then the Michael Strahan, obviously Hall of Famer. Yeah. So you really see when you think about the Giants, they really, I feel like, really perform well when you see like very, very good, powerful pass rushers. I feel like we've really had a lack of that recently. I feel like the last rusher I really see on the Giants is like Olivier Vernon, but he wasn't even that great.
No, he wasn't. He was way too injury prone for them.
Exactly. Like, and I mean, you really want to talk about throwback, but what about O.C. Umenora? He was pretty good too on that.
He was really
good too. It's just that's what I think. If you really want to keep Jones, you have to get a really solid pass rush, and they just have lacked that recently. So I think that's what they need to be.
And you have to just to build off of that, not just like with the defense. Yeah, there's always needs of improvement. There's always areas, like especially still that secondary. They still need a CB2. They don't really have that solidified guy there just yet. But it's really the offensive line that it boils down to as well, because they have a bunch of guys who are playing like rotational guys too. That were inexperienced. You had the rookie out of Oregon, Shane Lemieux, right?
Yep.
He was playing a mixture of center, guard, this and that. It's like, whoa. This guy is just a rookie. Yeah, he might have done that at Oregon, but is he adapting and ready for that at the NFL level? Yeah, he kind of was, but he also wasn't that great at times too.
Exactly.
And the same thing was with Andrew Thomas as the left tackle. Yeah, he had a lot of bright spots, but also he had a lot of brain farts too. So that's just something the Giants need to get a little more veteran presence on that offensive line, because we all know this. You saw in the Super Bowl with for Patrick Mahomes. If you don't have an offensive line, you're done. You're not even getting up to that game.
I mean, when we talk about the Giants, I just think there's too many holes to really make them a contender for a couple of years.
No, they're not. That's the thing, though. When we talk about them being, they'll be a contender, but they're not. Like, here's the thing.
They won't be a contender for at least 3 to 4 years.
Here. I break it down like this. There's 2 different contenders, obviously. Playoffs and then Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
The Giants, their goal is just the playoffs.
I don't think they're a playoff contending team. I mean,
but that's the thing, though. They're man, it's like,
put it this way: can they win their division? No.
As of right now, no, because Dallas
once
is much better.
comes back, they're going to easily take that division.
Dallas is much better, yeah.
And but then now I think they'll even battle for second. I honestly think that division, even next year if the Giants build, I mean, we'll see what Jalen Hurts can do, but I don't know. If it depends what the Redskins do at quarterback.
Hey,
I really did like Tyler Heinicke a lot, as we saw in that playoffs. He must be Brady. You can't take it away from that.
Yeah.
He played great, and I remember watching him in the XFL. He played great too.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like people are very degraded him for his height. He's very short. Usually quarterbacks end up being very tall. But I don't know. For that if I had to make bets on that, I would not bet on that division besides the division winner of the Cowboys. I think it's too much of a mess. But talking about our favorite teams, let's talk about my team, the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I'm very scared about our future, which might sound – I just don't know. I think Tua is overhated, but I don't know. I have a lot of question marks with Tua.
Yeah, just his ability to stay healthy. That's like the major
Not even
right?
that. It's his playmaking ability, because I don't know if you realize this year, he just too much time in the pocket. And what he said is because he's so used to in Bama having everybody wide open. So now in the NFL, not everybody's wide open. It's hard to really.
That's the thing.
So I guess it's just gonna go over time, but I just think he's overhated. People are really quick to say Dolphins need a new quarterback. I think we give him more time.
Of course you do. But like, here's the thing. Like, I want to get your thoughts on this. If you had the opportunity to get Deshaun Watson, right? Are you making that trade to involve Tua in that deal or no? No.
I mean, it depends. I just think we're gonna have to there's gonna be 3 or 4 first-round picks involved. no matter what.
Of course, yeah.
And I don't want to get rid of our future like that.
If I were the Dolphins, I would consider it, but I wouldn't make the move.
Let's put it this way. Brian Flores is a phenomenal coach. Coach. Because think about this. What pure talent guys do the Dolphins have that are stars besides Xavier Howard? Name one. Nobody. There is no star besides Xavier Howard on that entire team. If you want to talk about holes, our running back is Miles Gaskins, Ahmed, who I fucking haven't heard of till this year. I didn't even have to heard him in college. He was like an undrafted free agent. Our number one receiver is Devontae Parker. Then it's then we have Jakeem Grant and Preston Williams.
Your tight end looks
Mike Gesicki's decent.
I like him.
But I'm just saying, like, if you really get to the grit of it, there's really no stars. If we really want to compare, there's 6 and 10 Dolphin teams and more talent than this team. I feel like it's just a well-coached team. I mean, let's go. If you go on the defensive side, we got Van Ginkel, Emilio Ogbar is our best defensive player besides Xavier Howard. There's really just Calvin Noy is decent, but I mean, I don't think he's anything great. Like, I just feel like there's no stars on this team. I just think it really shows the great coaching in it. And then if you trade all this for Deshaun Watson,
your
it's
future's gone in a way.
I'm just saying, like, we don't have any stars, and now even though Deshaun Watson's a phenomenal quarterback, we just lose our picks that could get us stars.
And here's another thing too, because now I'm thinking about this to myself. If you actually pursue that trade, right, you're kind of going into that mode of like the Brooklyn Nets, how they acquired James Harden. Like, oh, this team is like, win now. We got to win now. If you make that Watson trade, you guys aren't ready for that win now.
Well, put it this way.
That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, you're not ready for that Super Bowl consistently being a contender up there.
But like I said, I'll put it this way. I don't like comparisons when people compare basketball, football, and it's for this exact scenario. One basketball player can make you a championship contender, like you saw with LeBron and the Cavs.
Yep.
No matter how good you are, not one football player can make you a contender.
Of course not.
If you put Brady on, let's just say, for example, the Jaguars, I don't think they're contenders.
Not even close.
Exactly. But if you put LeBron on any team, they're pretty much contenders. It's just because at the end of the day, there's 5 people on a basketball court, and there's 11 guys on each side of the football field. That's really what it comes down to. And that's why I just feel like it's not comparable. Because, like I said, if it was 5 guys playing football, Deshaun Watson would change you completely different than if there's 11 guys. Next thing I want to talk about, let's just basketball. We'll go to college basketball here. I just don't understand what happened with Penn State and Nebraska. Nebraska had their first Big Ten win in over a year. Over a year. How do you think that Penn State team? I don't understand. How do you lose to Nebraska? Nebraska is one of the worst basketball Big Ten teams I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, we've seen like crazy college games this year. Not even just college basketball. You go back to college football with Rutgers. Rutgers picked up a few wins too.
Kentucky's not even gonna make the freaking the tournament. Kentucky sucks. They lost Arkansas.
Duke might not even make it.
Yeah, Duke sucks too.
North Carolina's on the brink of it. We'll see what happens with North Carolina. But North Carolina's
this is a year where North Carolina, Duke, and freaking Kentucky will make the.
It's crazy.
Coach K, Coach Cal are out of their seats.
All 3 legendary coaches. They're like, what the heck is going on? They must be like, really?
And then there's like sleeper teams. Like, what about Drake?
Where did they come from, man? Drake,
I don't know. I think they're very overrated, though. You saw they just lost to Loyola. I mean, they beat them last time, but then.
But that's why they were. But that's why they weren't even ranked heading into that game.
And then before that, what's it called? What happened? They were struggling against Valparaiso. Yep. They lost. They were trailing in the first half, and then with 4 minutes left, they were lights off at 3. That school, I think, is another team with phenomenal coaching because I don't really see much talent there. But it just really shows you, like, when it comes to top teams. I mean, another team I want to talk about. Wisconsin. That might be the most overrated team I've ever seen in my life. They went from like 3 to like 30 in like 2 games. You saw like they got killed by Michigan. They were getting killed every game. It's just I just think the rankings are really like I don't really take them seriously right now. I really don't.
No, you can't. And like just not even just performance basis. You can't even take rankings like really like well because of the fact that you don't know what's going on with the teams with COVID. Like you seen like the
Yeah,
you
Baylor
see
is missing so many
you
games.
don't know, man. And it's just like that's why it's like what's even the point of putting out rankings? Like when you don't know when this team is gonna play again. Anything can happen. And like you saw with Michigan, how long they got shut down for. I think they're still shut down. So it's like you just don't know what's going on, and overall it's just a day-to-day thing. And it's all these teams, all these schools have to, prep, and they just gotta follow their rules. If they don't follow, they don't follow their rules, I mean, they're done. They won't be playing basketball much longer. And March Madness is just around the corner. We're having it. And if you decide to do whatever the heck you want, then your school, your program doesn't make it then.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's talk about my school, UB. What a year we're having right now, averaging 81 points a game. It's
Wow.
phenomenal. I mean, I love seeing Jared Patterson in football, but Buffalo basketball, she, Javon Graves, phenomenal from Ohio. What's it called? He played basketball with Sharif, Shaquille O'Neal or whatever is the older son. Sharif or
Oh,
Shakir? I know Sharif,
okay.
right?
I think
Sharif
Sharif.
O'Neal. And then Zaire Wade. He was playing with both of them.
Oh,
He's
wow.
phenomenal basketball player. It's crazy to see that he's playing at my school. It's just 86 points a game is just phenomenal. And then we have what's his name, Ronald Segu, freaking beast. Ronaldo Segu. We have it's just this team, Javon Graves, and we have like people from Akron, Ohio that went to LeBron school, St. Mary's.
Mm.
This Buffalo team is no joke. As last time we beat Western Michigan 86-54.
Now let me ask you this, because I haven't been paying attention to like the MAC conference for college basketball. I've been paying attention for college football. But who's like another like true like program that's like gonna be a real problem for them? Nobody really, right? You don't think?
I mean, if we have to pick a program, I would say Kent State. I mean, Kent State's always been
Kent State's been good, yeah.
they've always been what's it called, a competitor against Buffalo, especially even in football too. It's just those two are the top MAC teams. But another game I want to really talk about with Buffalo, it was a little bit ago, but one game I want to talk about is they almost took down Syracuse. They were so close, and seeing Buffalo make these strides is really proving something to me. Like in the first half, they were outscoring Buffalo was outscoring Syracuse 48-37 and took the game to overtime.
Wow.
Against Syracuse. Syracuse is a phenomenal program, as you know, in basketball. They had Shaq, I think, for a year or two. But they've been a very, very good program. And it's nice to see Buffalo really stepping up their games. When we know 5 or 10 years ago, Buffalo was not a program and we would really think of as a competitor. But like I always say, the Khalil Mack effect really turns into that program.
For sure.
This is gonna be funny here. I know you don't really know much about it, but I just want to take a second and provide my advice when it comes to tennis. I'm a big male tennis guy. And I'll give you my picks for today. So I have some pretty strong picks today that I think are easy wins. We have Stefanos Tsitsipas against Matteo Berrettini. I think it's easily Stefanos. He's a Greek beast. If we ever seen him myself, he's a younger guy, but I mean he did struggle last time against the Australian guy. But I just feel like him, Zverev, and Medvedev and Nadal are really top four. I just think I see easy win for him there. And then I really feel like though I'm gonna make a bold prediction tomorrow. I have Zverev take beating Djokovic, who is the number one tennis player in the world. I haven't taken him down. Alexander Zverev, my guy. He might have anger issues. He might beat his wife, but at the end of the day, he's really strong, and you could tell why he shows it in the bedroom when he fucking slams his wife through the ceiling. He's a strong guy, bro. Novak is he looks like a little pussy. I just think he's just putting like a gorilla against a thing. I just think people really underrate him because he's in his like early 20s, and Djokovic is very a veteran, as people would say. So I just think that's my bold prediction when it comes to tennis. Just want to say my tennis picks, my tennis advice. I've been enjoying tennis. It's just I never realized how aggressive of a sport it actually is, because they like Zverev, he breaks his racket all the time. He's just yelling at the ref, cursing at it's just insane. They're really aggressive people.
Yeah, it's I only watch a few like tournaments. I'm not obviously you know that I'm not a big tennis guy.
I mean,
but
I just think it's fun to watch. I thought it's.
I don't have anything against it though. I don't have any problems with the sport though. There's it's plenty of it's really you can tell with the players.
I mean,
how,
there's
like, excited they
definitely
get. There's a lot of passion.
Yeah, there's definitely like I would say like tennis matches that I do almost want to fall asleep in. But if I see Zverev or Tsitsipas, bro, they're gonna yell, they're gonna scream, they're gonna it's insane. I like Zverev yesterday. I was watching him. He was they were going actually no, it was Saturday. He was it was actually a very very good game. He was going against Ladrovic. I remember he was up 2 sets about to win. He literally just missed, and it was a clear win. His to put it in odds wise, he was minus 15,000.
Wow.
At that point. And he literally broke his racket because he missed a shot. He slammed his racket. His racket wasn't broken yet. He takes it, steps on it, tilts it, and then throws it, and then starts screaming. And it's like 30 seconds. They're just sitting there like, what is this guy doing? And then the announcers are like, this guy gets in his own head because like he almost got the guy coming back in the game. That's the only problem I have with Zverev. He gets too much in his head. Like we see, he literally would be winning. Like it would be like 40-0. He has 3 break points. The guy scores once. He slams the racket. He starts throwing everything. Starts screaming.
What's next? He's gonna smash his racket on his forehead or something?
No, he's done some crazy stuff. He's broken rackets in ways I never thought of. Like he's throwing it. He's throwing against the wall. He's throwing against his knee. He's throwing against his foot. He's a funny guy. He's a really funny guy. I love Zverev. I'm telling you, if you see Zverev play, he's such a funny guy.
Now I got to tune in for a match for sure.
He starts screaming at the ref, and the ref doesn't agree to break his racket. Shows the ref the broken racket. Says, look what you made me do. And he's like, I didn't make you do that. You did it yourself. He's it's broken.
You're getting in your own head, man. That's it.
Yeah, but it's just a funny thing to watch. You guys gotta check it out. Watch Alexander Zverev. He's a very entertaining. I was never a tennis guy, but once I saw Alexander Zverev, he really got me into that sport. But on another side of things, let's talk about free agency. We saw JJ Walker release. Who do you think is his best fit for him?
See, here's the thing. Like you look at the obvious teams, just about every Super Bowl contender, right? That's it.
I don't think there's any contending for the Bucs when it comes to getting JJ Watt because they used to know how good their defense was against. They really don't need more defense.
They don't really. But could you imagine if he was added to that defensive line?
It's too risky though because, like I said, they have so many phenomenal players that they're gonna have to spend money on. That I would just make sure you keep that team. Just keep it. I wouldn't add anything. I wouldn't lose anything. Just keep that.
They won't lose anything. Levante David will be back. Shaquille Barrett.
No, not this year, but I'm talking about for the future.
Yeah.
Once like Chris Godwin gets in better contract and all that, that's when I would just make sure. Everybody stays. But like JJ Watt, if you sign him long term, the most I'd ever sign JJ Watt for, honestly, if you really think about the Bucs, would be 1 year.
Yeah, you're not going.
But I don't think JJ Watt wants a 1 year deal.
For every team that's interested, I would only go 1 year.
It depends though, because I could see a team like the Rams, for example, signing him long term.
Here's the thing. If I'm JJ right now, I'm taking this a 1 year deal because especially if let's just say he wants to go play with his brother TJ, right, and he wants to play with Derek too, in Pittsburgh. Why? I mean, they are not. Yes, they can be Super Bowl contenders.
They're not Super Bowl contenders, even with it. They quarterback.
They can be. That's the point though. They have to make a move from Big Ben.
They can't though because they obviously don't show interest in it.
Then that's the reason why though. Then
look at the Packers. The Packers are
relying so heavy on that defense. That's the thing. Why do they keep on relying so heavy on their defense when there's room for improvement on the offensive side of the ball under center? That's the most important freaking position.
I think their management is way overrated. I mean,
you gotta move on, man.
Look at the Packers. They did phenomenal with that Jordan Love draft pick. People hated that they didn't get a receiver, but look at them. The Packers are still Super Bowl contenders. And now they have a quarterback of the future already sealed. And Jordan Love's a phenomenal quarterback. I love Jordan Love. I think he has a bright future. I think it was a very good pick for them. Yeah. And that's something the Steelers got to do. Obviously, Big Ben's not going to play another 5 years.
Man, they have no choice up to this point.
And we got Mason Rudolph. He still has the dent in his head.
Mason Rudolph. And you got Dwayne Haskins, who's a work in progress guy too. I mean, you don't even know.
Nah, Dwayne Haskins is a fucking. He's a
You
train
don't
wreck.
even know those.
Every
Teams.
Ohio State quarterback's a train wreck. Justin Fields, I don't have any. It's just Ohio State can't make quarterbacks. Who they have?
Well,
Braxton Miller.
Fields will be good.
I don't know.
I can promise you that. Fields is going to be really good.
How do you play against Alabama?
Yes, we know, but okay, that was one game. That was one game.
Yeah, but
what did he do to your Clemson Tigers?
There's a difference. Trevor Watson. I'm not Trevor Watson.
Trevor Watson.
Lawrence has no weapons. He really doesn't. Justin Fields got weapons galore. You want to talk about good weapons? The Ohio State is way better.
Well, so did Mac Jones at Alabama. I mean, he had. You want to talk about weapons galore?
I don't think Mac Jones is that good either.
He's not that good, of course.
Exactly.
But look at.
That's what I'm saying. That's why they're both not good quarterbacks.
Justin Fields. There's just something about him, man.
All right, let's put it this way. I believe Ohio State had worse weapons last year.
They had worse weapons last year?
Yes. And Clemson had better weapons.
Mm.
And what did Clemson do to them? They destroyed them.
Yeah.
Justin Fields wasn't even like close.
Yeah, last year you're talking about, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, bro. If you put this weapons that Ohio State had when Clemson and gave Ohio State Clemson's weapons, it'd be nothing. You're like, hey, it's a he said, she said kind of scenario.
It is, though.
It's not, though. They started the year before.
Look at how Trevor Lawrence handled pressure. Did you see the way he threw that ball up in the air like it was a baseball pop-up to center field?
Because he had no time. And nobody was open.
See, that's the whole point of this whole entire thing, offensive line. This is why you need offensive line. You're not going anywhere. I don't care.
Who are you, fucking Patrick Mahomes' fucking
I don't care who the
wife?
heck you are. I don't care who
you
the
sound
heck
like Patrick Mahomes' wife right now. You saw him freaking Super Bowl throwing a behind. Like, what was he like? That one throw when he was like falling to the ground, he threw it like this way. What was it? It was all about. I was like,
I know what you're talking. Dude, but
in the helmet.
But seriously, man. This is why
I agree, though. Offensive line's everything.
You can't do anything. You won't be able to do anything, man. You're not getting to that big game. There's no way you get to the national championship without an O-line. There's no way you get to the Super Bowl without an O-line. You saw Patrick Mahomes just having that one key guy, Eric Fisher, being out. That hurt him so bad because Casey's offensive line was just oh my God, they were atrocious because you had guys like the left tackle. Tampa Bay's defense, they had guys taking turns bullying the left tackle. They were just like, all right, who wants to go? Ndamukong Suh, you're up. Oh, Levante, go after him. Shaquille Barrett, go ahead. Why not? It's like, this is why, man. You can never have enough depth on your O-line. I don't care what anyone says. You could be like, oh, we have too many left guards, or we have too many guys who could play this two different spots. It's like versatility is huge, and you can never have too many O-line guys. That's the bottom line.
Let's talk about the biggest basketball topic, I think, easily this year. What the fuck happened to the fucking Heat? What the fuck happened to them? 11-15 now. They just won the finals, and now they're struggling to be 500. I don't think I've ever seen this in my life.
Dude, they
didn't lose anybody. Why are they so bad?
The Heat, they had somebody out for a decent amount of time, right? How long was Jimmy Butler out for them? For a few games, right?
Yeah, but I don't think that should have that much of an impact because it was just a few games. It wasn't like it was the season.
But that's the thing, though, too. Like, it wasn't really that long of a stretch, like you're saying it, like where they were missing all their players. But I don't know. Like, they were struggling in both games against my team, the Knicks. They barely beat them in both of those games, and they just had, I think, pretty much everybody there.
Exactly.
Jimmy
That's what
Butler
I'm saying.
was playing.
It did just. I knew they were overrated in the finals, but I did not think they were this overrated.
Yeah, as of right now, but that's the thing, though, with this Miami Heat team, I feel like they can turn on at any point, and that's what I'm afraid of. That could happen in the second half of the year where you just see them go on this amazing freaking stretch. And who knows? That's where, like, I think if Miami could turn it up a notch in that second half, I think Philly gets screwed because I think if Miami ends up facing Philly in a playoff series again, I would be taking Miami if they end up being that hot team.
Now, out of the playoffs, do you think the Knicks are the one that fall out of the playoffs? Out of the 8 teams, because I guess you're guessing the Heat's making the playoffs. They're right now in the 9th seed.
All right, so where are we at with 6 to 8 right now?
6 to 8's Hornets, Knicks, and Raptors.
Hornets are falling out of that.
Can I be honest with you? I think the Hornets and the Knicks are falling out of that. You know who I think is going to pick up after them? I think the Heat and the Hawks.
Oh, yeah, I had the Hawks, too, originally.
I had the Hawks and the Heat make the playoffs. And I think the Knicks and the Hornets get kicked out.
And here's the thing, too. You have to remember this, Jason. All you have to do is finish in the top 10 because you got that play-in tournament.
Yeah,
And that's when you battle out for seeding and positioning and for those final
But I'm
8
saying
teams.
for the top 8.
Yeah.
For the traditional playoff standpoint, I think it's gonna be Heat at 7, and I think the Hawks are gonna all the way up to 6.
That's where I had them at heading into the year. At Atlanta at
And
6.
I'm sorry, guys, but I know the people are out there. The Cavs aren't making the playoffs. I'm sorry, guys. I know there's a lot of Cavs fans always thinking they're made the playoffs this year, 10 and 18. You're not making the playoffs.
Did you just see what they just did with the Andre Drummond now? They're moving forward completely with Jared Allen as their starting center, as they should, because they acquired him in that part of that monster James Harden deal. So Jared Allen's that future center for them moving forward now. And he's a restricted free agent in the summer, so they're going to extend him, give him decent money up to this point. Andre Drummond's the odd man out. And he's going to get traded eventually. I don't know when, but it's going to be before the trade deadline.
And one thing I always want to say, how about them Suns, baby? We're at 4th year now. I'm very happy with that. Haven't seen that in my life. I mean, right now I'm scared we're going to lose 15, 20 games in a row and not make the playoffs. But as Shaw could tell you guys here, I've been a Suns fan for quite a bit. I think it was like 2014, 2015.
Yep.
And I was there in the rough times. Remember that? I was there with the rough seasons.
Oh, yeah.
And it's phenomenal to be this good. Woohoo!
But that's the thing though. When you get that second guy when you back up a star player like Devin Booker, and look what you got now. You got some playmakers.
What I gotta say this is what I gotta say. I gotta tell a lot of people this. You ready here? All those DeAndre Ayton haters, where are you guys now? I know when DeAndre was drafted that year, everybody hated him.
But that's the thing, though. See, that's what a lot of people like to do. Fans, they love to complain about guys. They're like, they should have picked this guy. It's like this. No, you got to give this guy to develop. And look how well DeAndre Ayton's playing. This guy's he's
great. He was the number 1 pick in that draft for what the Suns needed because they have Booker as a shooter. They didn't need. I know like Luka or what's it called? Or Trey would be nice, but that's not what the Suns need. They needed a big man, which they got with DeAndre Ayton. Yeah. I'm not mad. People are like, oh, yes, they got Trey Luka, but I don't think it was good as a fit for the Suns as DeAndre Ayton is.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, though, because you don't know. Like, oh, yeah, it's so easy to say that, oh, the Suns could have got Luka or Trey. It's like you don't know how they would have fit into the system. They could be a completely different player. Like maybe Luka isn't Luka that you know of today if he ended up getting drafted in Phoenix. So it's like we don't know.
One thing I could say, and any 76ers fans out there, how does it feel that you gave us Mikal Bridges for fucking Zaire Smith, baby? I love it. I love it.
Dude, because I remember this too. I remember you told me when this trade officially
I loved it when it happened.
You were jumping up and down about it.
And I'm jumping up and down again.
You were like, there's no way this just happened. There's no way.
I don't even know who the fuck is Zaire Smith now? What is he doing? I don't know. I don't even know where the fuck he is.
I have no clue. Is he still on their bench or he's not even a part of the roster?
I don't even know where he is. And the Suns got Mikal Bridges for him? I'll take it.
Hey, Philly better hope that he's somewhere on that bench. I mean, you better hope that he's somewhere in that area.
What a draft. DeAndre Ayton and Mikal Bridges. 2018 was our year.
Oh, my God, yeah. Well, you guys are definitely heading in the right direction on it. This is a team that I had heading into the playoffs before the season when I had my standing predictions. I had you guys sitting as actually just like Atlanta in the East. I had you guys sitting at 6th seed. I'm still going to stick with that because there's a lot of shuffling that's going to continue throughout the year with the Western Conference because we know how competitive that's going to be. But the Suns are definitely making it. I really like the Suns this year.
Exactly. And the Suns really, I can't judge any. The thing that I don't really understand is after 2018, I've hated every Suns pick. But they end up becoming good. I don't understand. There's so many reaches. Cameron Johnson was like a late 2nd rounder. We got him like top 10. And Cameron Johnson's doing good. Antoine Moore. I just don't understand.
And then you have a guy like more of a veteran presence, but he's not too old. You bring in like a Jay Crowder. Like Jay Crowder wasn't a bad addition.
I just don't understand how they proved me wrong so many times. Yeah, I just got to say, the Suns management, man, I agree with all your decisions. But that's why I'm not a GM. You're probably a better GM than I am. I'll be honest here. I think the Suns have one of the best GMs in the league for what decisions they're making, because they don't care how good or bad you're projected. They just do whatever they want. It's working for them. It really is.
Yep. Hey, they want that hate. They want that hate from the fans.
They've really proven everybody
other fans around the league. That's their mentality. And you just gotta believe. That's the thing, though. You don't listen to the outside noise, of course, but you just believe in your own scouts and like. You just draft who you want.
I mean, I think, in my opinion, I think the Suns are the hottest team in February, and it's just great to see as we see recent games beat the Celtics. We beat the Cavs, we beat the Bucks, we beat the Sixers, and we beat the Magic. They're all like 10+ win teams.
Yep.
Playing around.
Quality wins.
All quality wins. We look at that, where that's a nice win streak. And then before that, we beat the Pistons, which kind of suck. But that's a great 2, 4, 6 game win streak.
Yeah, speaking of the Pistons, I mean, I think they still only have 6 wins, right, so far this year, and like all 6 of those wins are like against legit like playoff contender teams. Like
yes.
that's crazy to me.
And I just want to warn everybody right now. The Nets are not trying 100%. Let's just everybody remember that. They're not as bad as you think, because looking at the games, the Nets suck. They're not contender teams how you play. They're not championship contender teams. You see, they lost the Wizards up 5 with 12 seconds left. 12 seconds left.
But these are the growing pains that you go through as
I just think it's that they don't care. I really think they don't care.
Brooklyn, here's the thing.
I think they're like, let's get over.
They know this too. They know this too. As a 3-headed monster, and Harden, Kyrie, and KD, they all know that defense needs to improve and needs to actually show up in the playoffs if they want to go to that next level and exceed expectations of going to the NBA Finals and possibly taking down one of the LA teams if that definitely happens. But
let's put it this way. I have a perfect thing to bring out for you. This is, I think, a very good example. Do you know how they lost that Wizards game?
Oh, that was they had it. It wasn't that they had a lead.
They were up 5 with 12 seconds left. Yes, they did have a lead. I fucking put $1,000 on it. Fucking lost up 5 with 10 seconds.
I remember that.
Minus 10,000 odds. What the fuck is this?
That was crazy. And that's the thing though. It's defense, man. That team.
No, it's not defense. It's not. It's. Do you know how that game happened? So
I don't even know.
All right, 12 seconds. All right, there's 12 seconds left. They chuck up a 3, magically goes in. It was like a half court 3, right? Right. So they make a crazy deep 3. The Nets are up by 2. So what's gonna happen? They're gonna have to foul, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nope, because this fucking hooligan guy, I don't even know who his fucking name is. It's a white guy with long arms. That's what I call him. He literally throws the ball, but doesn't look at who he's throwing it to.
Oh, Joe Harris. Was it Joe Harris?
No, it wasn't Joe Harris. I like Joe Harris. He's a good, phenomenal 3-point guy.
Yeah, he is.
This guy's a little tall, lengthy white guy. I don't know what his name is though. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not the. I don't know his name. I'm sorry, but there's a good reason. He's some overseas guy. But anyway.
Oh.
He passed the ball. It doesn't look. It's right to fucking Russell Westbrook. How dumb can you fucking be? Let's freaking pass it wide open. And then you know what they do? They take a nice 3. And then
so it wasn't even defensive miscues. It wasn't inbounding.
It was a fucking inbounding mistake. How the fuck do you mess up inbounding? Put me in the NBA. I could inbound well.
Could you have instead of there's a specific role, you got the 6th man of the year?
I'll be the inbounding man with the guy here. I will not miss an inbound.
Sign a role to that.
I'll wait until I see something fucking wide open, fucking naked all the way over there. Let's go. Here you go. This guy's like, boom. After this podcast, I'll show you that clip. That fucking got me heated as I was like, what is this?
I caught the first half of the game, but I wasn't able to catch the rest of it. But I thought it was just some sort of defensive miscues. But I looked at
it was the worst loss I've ever had.
Told me too.
It was the worst loss I've ever taken. Yeah, I already marked it off as a win. Up 5, 12 seconds. There you go, Nets. Thank you. You're playing against the Wizards with 5 wins at the time. You couldn't tell me if I told you I had the Nets up 5 with 12 seconds left against the 5-win Wizards. Yeah, it's over.
And this is the same team who lost to Detroit too.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
With these lottery teams,
the Nets are the Nets are really
twice they lost to Washington.
The Nets aren't a good betting team. I would never bet on the Nets. You could get the Nets to play phenomenal. You see how they play against the Pistons and the Wizards. Sheesh.
You just don't know, man. You saw what they did at Golden State. What was it, Saturday night prime time? Yeah. It's just you don't know what you're going to get out of that team.
You really don't.
And like I said, it's quite obvious what they have to do and improve on is their defense, because if they don't, I mean, they're going to end up running into that team that's going to force them possibly to a game 7 and make or break that team in that scenario. So they just got to watch out for that.
Now, trying something for this let's play a game called Overrated, Underrated. Now I got a big one. I'm scared to even say it. The Utah Jazz. I'm gonna say the most overrated team I've ever seen in my life.
Let's see. The thing with the Jazz is that I'm saying overrated too because of
they're not a 22-5 team.
Because of the fact here. Let's see what they do in the playoffs. This is all he said, she said here in the regular season.
All right, let's put playoff time. Do the Jazz really have a chance against the Clippers and the Lakers, who are worse than them?
if you have the Lakers fully healthy,
No, they don't have a chance.
Lakers fully healthy and the Clippers the way they are, no chance.
Exactly. I think
No
they shouldn't be the
chance.
first seed. I think it should be like 4th or 5th.
Dude,
I don't think they're a
just
fifth seed team. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
they just gotta watch out. They gotta watch out because like if they end up getting that one of those top 3 seeds or whatever, they just gotta watch out in that second round because I would be worried if I'm a Utah Jazz fan going into the second round because there's gonna be that one team there that just is playing to upset you. And I think it's gonna happen. I could see them getting bounced in the second round again. I think they'll definitely make it out of the first round. They should.
They should, yeah.
But there's problems if we don't.
I know they'll probably play a team.
Yeah, just watch out. Here's the thing, though. In the first round, could you imagine if they run into a team like Portland?
No, they won't play. They won't play with Portland. Like I said, I mean they're really like gonna finish first or third seed, and that's not gonna play Portland. I don't think they could really drop 4th. I don't think. It's just they're 22-5. That is phenomenal record. Unless they just start going on a. Right now, it looks like they would play like honestly. Oh, next team, Warriors. Over underrated.
I haven't heard that so many people talk about them.
I know.
So I'm gonna go underrated.
I think underrated too. As you saw last game, Steph Curry is Steph Curry. I think people forgetting that.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I think
I had them as the 8th seed this year.
I know, but honestly, I would be scared, even if you're the first seed. I think the Warriors could put up. I don't think they're gonna win the first game, but they could put up a pretty good fight.
Mm-hmm.
They could put up a fight. I think people are really starting to say. I know people who are starting to say the Grizzlies are a better team than the Warriors. I don't really understand that. I mean, like I said, I think the Warriors are a very underrated team this year.
And Memphis, speaking of Memphis, they just had a complete like mental breakdown against the Lakers recently. Like they had did you see that start they got off to in the first quarter? I mean, they were up crazy. And like, it's just like in that second half, it's like it never happened. LeBron was LeBron. I mean, and it's just like, you can't count on Memphis.
Now, another one, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. We're going to say 76ers. I'm going to say overrated.
You're gonna say overrated?
I think the Sixers are overrated.
Well, is there a middle option? Because like
properly rated.
Because like I would say properly rated.
I don't think they're the first seed. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think they're number 1 seed. I put the Bucks over them.
You'll put the Bucks over them?
I think the Bucks are a better team, and I put the Nets over them too.
No, the Nets definitely. I'll agree with that.
You really think the Bucks are better than the Sixers?
Man, the Bucks are really iffy to me still.
Really?
They are really iffy, man. They are still. They just, in my head, they just are not getting past the point where I need them to get past.
I mean, they do have a good two hit power with Giannis and Middleton. I mean, those are
here's the thing, players. Though. Yes, solid players. Chris Middleton, however, is a terrific player, right? We can all agree on that. However, I don't think you can rely heavily on this guy to be the number 2 guy. I think you need another guy from Milwaukee. And that's what they initially thought when they traded for Drew Holiday, right? They were thinking, they're like, okay, we'll take some pressure off of Middleton's shoulders. But now you have Drew Holiday out for some time. I don't even know when he's coming back. It might be soon. But man, it's just like I think they need somebody else there. And just you can't have that pressure on Middleton still. I think he needs to be that 3rd guy in that offense. And
third? Then they definitely need a better player. I don't see any person that's better than
Middleton. But because just look at the track record, man. Yeah. Just look at their postseason history.
But I'll put it this way. I think the reason why I think the Sixers are worse is I feel like a lot of their players are temporarily outstanding, but I don't see long term. Like Seth Curry, you really think he's gonna be this good for that long?
That's the thing though with that roster in particular, because like you're wondering like the longevity of some of these guys.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that Seth Curry is going to be.
But
people are saying he's going to go 50, 50, 100. There's no way. No way.
We're just talking about longevity of the regular season. Imagine going in a best of 7 series in the postseason.
That's what I'm saying.
Up, like against, let's just say if they have to face Brooklyn eventually, and they do that.
I think they're overrated. I think they're a 3rd team. I really do. You're really going to put Seth Curry over fucking Chris Middleton. That's basically what the team's going right now. You know, I mean, he is.
No, I think that matchup would be interesting. I would be down to see Philly, Milwaukee, and prove me wrong about. Let's see what the.
You're telling me Seth Curry can play better than. Could be better than Chris Middleton this year.
No, I'm not saying that.
Exactly.
I just want to see the matchup of that.
Because at this point, he has all-star numbers. If you really want to put it to perspective, 50, 50, 100 is phenomenal. 53 points.
No, Chris Middleton's 100% better. And of course, Chris Middleton is going to sustain that. Seth Curry won't sustain that.
Exactly. That's why I hate when people say he's going to be the first person to join the 50, 50, 100 club. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it.
No, that's
at the end of the year, he's going to be like 40.
That's just a temporarily the first guy to do it. Whatever. So it's like
it's not gonna last. Don't worry. If you want
to talk about consistency, Middleton definitely has that in his favor for sure.
Yeah, Middleton. That's the reason why I just think
I just think it'll be a heck of a series. That I just really want to see that matchup because as of right now, it's so hard for me to like look at who the biggest threat is for Brooklyn right now, because like we just touched on with Philly, just that roster with some of their guys playing so well. Can they do it throughout a 7-game series? Against Brooklyn, I don't know. I don't know.
As we saw, I make bold statements sometimes. Mm-hmm. I'm honestly, this has been keeping me up at night. I've been having trouble sleeping thinking about this. Now, do you really get to a point where you start changing conferences? Because this East is looking really weak. I'm just saying, I know that it's just, I feel like it's been too long. It's been so weak for so long. Is it ever going to get strong again? Because, like, let's be honest here. Like, you can get, like if we put the teams in, the West, you got the Jazz, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Suns, the Blazers, the Spurs, the Nuggets, the Warriors. And then the East, you got the fucking Knicks in the playoffs. How the fuck is this happening? You know what I mean?
The Knicks, Charlotte, as of right now. I mean, the
Charlotte. It's just open. Such a the Pacers are the fucking the 4th seed. I don't know how that's possible. the freaking Pacers are the 4th seed. I'm just saying. I feel like it's just so unfair, and it's been like that for so long. I feel like it's just at this point you'd be like, yeah, freaking. It's but like I feel like the finals aren't as fun anymore. As we saw the Lakers and the Heat this last championship, I was not excited for it. I mean, I feel like Lakers and Clippers I'd be way more excited for. Lakers and even Suns I'd be more excited for. I just feel like if we're really not getting good final matchups when you have how weak the East is, like, let's put it this way. Besides the Nets, if any other team in the East makes a championship, I'm not that excited.
Dude, that's why we need to be rooting for a Brooklyn versus Lakers, Brooklyn Clippers.
That's why I think they should change it up. I think we need new teams in the West. They would be new teams from the West and East.
I mean, if we talk about it, there's just so many star-dominant players out West.
It's dangerously weak. It's dangerously weak.
And the East is, man. Yeah,
I mean, like I said,
the Knicks and the Hornets are 10 times ahead of schedule, and
let's put it this way.
As of right now, I'm sure for the next week or so they'll be still in that same area.
Let's put it this way: Jazz, Lakers, Clippers, Suns, Blazers, I'll put there. Nuggets, Warriors. I'm not gonna put the Mavericks. They're not. They have their problems right now.
But you want to? Here's the thing too. You want to talk about disappointing teams? The Dallas Mavericks.
Luka Doncic's pretty disappointing too. I think Luka was very overrated when it comes to, being like the next big, like taking over LeBron's legacy after him. I think people were too quick because of how dominant he was. I think he was only dominant in the beginning. So just because he's out of season, was playing with professional guys from a younger age. Mm-hmm. I think people overrate, like this year, Danny Advia, how you say his name, from the Wizards. I like Danny Advia, but people are saying he's like the next Luka and all this stuff. No. People are way too quick to judge. I do like Danny Advia. I think he has potential. But I just think overseas went from underrated to overrated when ever since Porzingis.
Dude, and speaking of Porzingis, I mean, what the heck is going on with him? I mean, did you see Melo guard him? What was that? Was it last night or was it the night before?
I think it was the night before.
And, oh my goodness! You want to talk about Cookie's defense right there? Melo was all over him.
But like I said, those teams I just said, I'd much rather see those in the playoffs. Much rather see those against any team in the West than if you go to the East. Sixers, Bucks, Nets, Pacers, Celtics, Hornets, Knicks, Raptors.
And then Raptors was the last team you said. You believe that?
Do I believe what?
The Raptors, what you just said. That's another team that's disappointing right now.
They're all that
was the last team that you said in
they're
the East.
They're disappointing, but they're good for the East. Like, they're a good team in the East because the East is that weak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they can just. That's the thing about the Eastern Conference.
I think
It's
they're a
just that
top 5 team in the East.
You just
even
can
though
get
they're
on
8
any
right
sort
now.
of run, and then.
Let's put it this way. I'm gonna do one more big comparison. I think this is really gonna prove a point here. Let's go to the weaker teams. You have the Pelicans, you have the Thunder, and the Rockets. Right?
That crowd, yep.
I think they're a hell of a lot better than the Pistons, the Wizards, and
of course.
The Cavs.
But Jason, we know that already, though.
I'm just saying.
The Western Conference is 10 times more.
I'm just saying. I just feel like it's so boring now.
No, I understand what you're saying.
I think it's ruining the game at this point.
I do understand what you're saying. I do agree with that. But it's just, man, I'm just amazed by throughout the Western Conference just how much talent is there. It's crazy to me. And like teams that won't even make the playoffs, like Houston, like you said, the Pelicans, you have like players there.
I think those weak teams. I think those weak teams can beat playoff contending teams in the East, and they're not going to make the playoffs in the West. Yeah. But I think they could be a team like the Bulls, the Magic. I think they could be better than the Cat. I think the Bulls and the Magic are not out of the playoffs. They're contending. They're 10-win teams.
Magic got cross off. Already.
But they still have 10 wins. You never know. I mean, the 8 seed only needs 12 wins.
Yeah, I'm not worried about.
Let's go a step further. The Knicks and the Hornets. I think the Pelicans could be better than them. I really do. I think at the end of the year we could say the Pelicans are a better team than the Knicks.
Well, it depends who's on that roster because in all likelihood JJ Redick's out and it might be Eric Bledsoe too. So we'll see what their roster looks like after the trade deadline too. You have to put that in consideration.
I'm just saying. I just think that the West and East, it's really ruining the game of basketball how one-sided it is. I don't think in the last 5 years I don't think that they've had this much of a seesaw kind of effect where one's so much better than the other one. I just think these last 5 years really show how weak it is. I mean, like last year was like my last year. I was like, I had it. The Heat should not have been in the finals. I still believe it. I don't think he should have been in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing because the amount of time off everybody had.
No, but I'm saying if you put the West in there, I think the West would have put they could have taken down the Heat easily. If you put them against the Clippers and the Clippers would have beat them out. I just think the Nuggets could have beat them out.
Denver might have, yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it's disappointing. It really is.
No, it definitely is. I 100% agree with that. And it's just like up to this point, I don't even know what you can do for like from a conference standpoint. Like, I want to hear like Adam Silver's like thoughts, the commissioner of the league. I want to hear his thoughts on.
I know what his thoughts are going to
be on like so one-sided, you know.
He's very very. I love Adam Silver. Mm-hmm. The problem I do have with him compared to David Stern, rip David Stern, but he's so soft and everything. He just lets anything happen. I feel like, you know what I mean. I did like how they were saying something about that LeBron flop against the Jazz. That was pretty,
That was pretty obvious.
But I don't know. I just feel like Silver, man. I like Silver. I just think he needs to take more action when it comes to things like this and really set something going. Because he really just he's doing like a laissez-faire economic effect basically. He's like saying hands off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do whatever you want. And I feel like it's kind of hurting the game of basketball a little bit.
Oh,
that's why I feel like David Stern really ran a better league. I mean, it's a very popular opinion. People like Silver better than David Stern, but I do think David Stern is better owner.
I like David Stern better for sure.
I think people just say that because how nice Adam Silver is. He's one of the nicest people I've ever seen. Very nice guy. Not the best commissioner.
But hey, you compare to other sports, you definitely prefer Adam Silver for sure.
I mean, I think it's just the bad commissioners in every sport now.
I mean, hockey has a bad one.
Roger Goodell's nothing great.
Yeah, Roger Goodell, Rob Manfred in Major League Baseball. Oh my God, don't get me started. Throughout his trophy presentation, he was freaking hammered.
I mean, if you really want to go with that thing, I don't know if you've ever seen the video of Kamala Harris, our vice president. She was hammered too when she won vice presidency. She had to wear sunglasses because how hangover she was.
Man. That's too funny.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, wait. The one thing I want to mention before we go is just that going back to the Giants, this is a must need for them. If they actually want to help Jones, you got to, as of right now, it's on Dave Gettleman to surround him with the weapons. And the Giants need a true number one receiver, and that needs to get done this offseason. Gettleman, quote-unquote, saying that he's going to pursue that, and he intends to do that just like the way he's been looking at defense last offseason. We'll see how that works out. But, I mean, as of right now, it's on Gettleman at the moment. And if he does give Jones the proper, pieces, that's when it's 100%. All right, let's go, Jones. This is the second time you're with Judge and Jason Garrett. No excuses whatsoever. So you need to put this kid in his third season in the league underneath that pressure in New York up to this point.
100%.
They have no other choice.
100%. 100% agree with you on that. That's the NFL is really something different right now. I mean, like you should talk about with the Giants. I mean, I think it's time to move on too after this year. I think this is when you talk about the Giants, this is really like a make it or break a year for Daniel Jones, Gettleman, and even Saquon, because I feel like Saquon, the Giants played him hurt, obviously, a couple times. And I really think it's taken a toll on his knee. I think he might be like a Jamal Charles kind of running back.
Oh, boy.
I think he might get the toll on the Jamal Charles play. We know Jamal Charles, phenomenal running back.
Yeah.
And he just, career cut too short. I think if this year Saquon's not healthy, I think he'd move on. I really do.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
No, I understand it, but I just, for me, I can't.
You hate that thought.
I hate the thought, and you're going to give me nightmares.
That goes to another story. Saquon Barkley, unpopular opinion, was the wrong pick in 2018.
Oh, I have a lot of my friends were saying that to me too. They really thought that they want to go with, I think, who was that? Darnold. They wanted Darnold.
Anybody but Barkley. And I'll be honest with this reason. There was so much second round talent at running backs.
Yeah.
We saw Nick Chubb go in the second round. Like, I just feel that
the Giants rushed to that position. They rushed
to that position when it was a position that, first off, has no longevity in the NFL, as we see.
And Eli even told him that he was heading out. Eli even told him at that point in time. He told Mara. He told Gettleman. He was like, hey, you guys know that I'm just about done, right?
Yeah.
Career-wise.
And then, two, it was like it's not no longevity. And two, there was a very strong running back class in 2018.
It was.
And I just feel like they didn't really understand that, and they just really reached on a running back. I feel like Saquon is really this year he's not playing healthy. You move on. I'm sorry.
No, I agree. I agree with that, man. And just like I'm at the same level with Jones too. Like if Jones doesn't play well, I have no problem moving on from.
But I want you guys to know something. Don't get mad or don't yell at me. Don't say I was wrong if Saquon leaves the Giants and plays better somewhere else, because this is not the conversation. Let's what's it called? Let's see how Saquon does with a better team. It's when you have the Giants, right? Mm-hmm. And you can't wait to build a better line. You can't wait to build all this stuff and have Saquon on your team. You're just gonna ruin his career is gonna be gone. Mm-hmm. If he goes with the Bucs, I think he'll be a phenomenal running back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
I just feel that's the problem. I think he's a great player, just the wrong circumstance and has to get out of the situation. We saw it in Miami with Ryan Tannehill. Look at Ryan Tannehill at the Titans. He's, made the playoffs 2 years in a row, and he's shown you that he could be a playoff quarterback. I mean, I don't think Ryan Tannehill's great, but I think he's a system quarterback. But like I said, it's just a situation. I think Saquon could be a phenomenal running back. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. I never said Saquon's bad. I just think he doesn't fit the Giants. What
it boils down to is just like how the Giants will utilize him when he comes back from the injury. That's what's the key is.
I don't think he fits in the system.
That's the thing. If he doesn't fit in the system, and then if they give him a heavy workload off the bat, they're in trouble. They are definitely in trouble. And I just, like I said earlier, they need 3 guys in that backfield. You need to share it with 3 guys. That's just my opinion on it.
I agree with it 100%.
Because I know the Giants. I know Giant fans keep saying, let's build a 2-headed monster. No. Not just a 2-headed monster. You need a 3rd guy involved in that too. Yeah.
And that's really going to hurt your value on Saquon if you're putting a 3-back situation.
But Saquon.
But now that you're going back, that's what you have to understand. How he has too much value to have a 3rd running back. So if you need a 3-back situation, that's when you move on. You just answered your own question because you can't. You know how much value you can get for Saquon still.
No, I know.
Might as well cash out now instead of making him a 3-back, and then people realize how they're not even valuing Saquon. Then you really get nothing. Like perfect example, Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers gave up nothing for him. Yep. He was released. Mm-hmm. And now you saw how good he did in the Super Bowl. Playoff Lenny, phenomenal guy. He's a good running back in a bad situation. I think same thing with Saquon. Cash out now, so it's not like eventually, I think the Giants would just end up releasing him.
Dude, it's just like, and everyone's so quick to say that with that narrative and be like, oh yeah, he's gonna come back better than ever. Everyone has
They
that
say
narrative.
that every year.
Everyone
they
has
say
that
about Leonard
narrative.
Fournette every year.
That's the thing though, man.
Yeah.
We can't stick with that narrative. Let's not just say that you're gonna come back better than ever. Yeah, the guy, I'm sure he appreciates the motivation, but let's see it first on the field.
Seeing is believing. I truly believe that when it comes to football.
Oh yeah.
But thank you guys for tuning in here, and thank you, Sean, for joining me on this podcast.
Thanks for
having
having
me. Hope you guys have a wonderful day.